Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make are Italian cookies. I have many recipes of Italian cookies on my channel, so if you don't like this particular one, please check them out. This particular cookie is a sugar cookie. I generally always remember this cookie growing up is that it always had sprinkles on it. It had colored sprinkles on it, or it had, colored jimmies on them, whether they were chocolate jimmies or whatever, the season was. If it was Christmas, they were green and white and red and that kind of thing. So you don't have to put sprinkles or jimmies on top of them if you don't want to. But I will tell you that this particular recipe does use solid shortening. So if you don't like solid shortening, please check out my other Italian cookie recipes, because they're made with butter. So again, you might want to, you might not want this. Yet I really feel the shortening is what really gives the cookie its texture, its integrity, and it has a type of a crisp quality to it. It is a good tasting cookie. Now I do have another Italian cookie that I just put on I believe yesterday, but the recipe is slightly different, and we realize that a lot of people sometimes think that there's just one recipe for the same cookie over and over again, and there's hundreds and thousands of duplicates. But what I'm trying to say is that you could find an Italian cookie recipe, one made with 6 eggs and one that's made with 3, and it's a little bit or slightly different. So you really need to try for the one that you like or that you might be looking for. So there are many different varieties and differences in different recipes for these Italian cookies. So please keep that in mind, because I know someone's going to write to me and say, well, you just have another video that you use solid shortening. Yes, but it's different. This one has salt, it has less eggs. It's just a different kind of cookie. In fact, this cookie is quite tender. So when you're glazing them with sugar glaze, and I do use a powdered sugar glaze on them, you really want to wait till they're completely cool, because they break up very easily in your hands, but they are delicious to eat. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start off with 3/4 of a cup of solid shortening. Now, I no longer put the recipe of ingredients below my videos, so I'm going to try to be as clearly and that you can get and write it down if you do want this recipe. So let me cream this and break this up. Now you can do this recipe with a hand mixer, but I like my stand-up because it's quicker and faster for the video. Now, once you break that up and you cream it, you're going to continue to cream the shortening with 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. And I'm going to put all of that in and then just start creaming it. I do want to warn you about the sound of the mixer, because it can get loud. Now, once you combine those, and it shouldn't take you very long, again, it depends on your mixer, it depends on the speed that you put it on, but just that you can cream it together, okay? And it's well combined. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in 3 eggs, and they've been at room temperature, and I'm going to beat in one at a time. Second one. And the third egg went in. Now, when you start to combine this, because the next thing we're going to put in is vanilla, a teaspoon. You do want to stay with it to till the mixture becomes very light, fluffy, and pale yellow in color, okay? Now, I'm going to raise my speed a little bit, warn you about the sound, but I'm doing it so that I can do it quicker than bore you with me, you know, continually to beat it. So I'm going to use a higher speed to get the job done here. Okay. Now I'm going to just clean the sides of my bowl here. Get to the bottom with my spatula where it tends to stick. Okay, now once you've got that beaten and it's pale yellow in color, looks fluffy to you, we're going to start putting the dry in. So you're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour and 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And yes, I did say 3 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And then with my spoon, I'm just going to just quickly give it a quick stir. And then I'm going to slowly add the dry with the wet, generally at about medium speed. I might raise my speed a little bit again to move it along till it forms a cookie dough, okay? So we'll start doing that now. Now you don't want to go, you know, with too much speed because, of course, you don't want flour all over your kitchen. All right, that's the rest of the dry mixture. Now you can start to hear that the mixer is struggling a little bit. So I'm going to raise the speed, and then what it is, it's bringing it all into that cookie ball stage. Okay. I'm just going to take off the excess here, off my paddle, and set that aside. Okay, and just clean the sides of my bowl, and then I'm just going to get in there here with my hands to get the very bottom of some of the little crumbs here. Okay, and as you can see, you'll have a nice cookie ball. Okay, this dough is not real sticky. It's pretty easy to, you know, roll. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to need, of course, a cookie sheet or cookie pan to bake these. You don't need to grease or spray. I'm just using parchment paper. But what you'll want to do is, if you want to get, in this recipe, if I make the ball about 1.5 inches, I can usually get about 3 dozens. If you want to make them smaller, of course, you're going to get more cookies out of them. But watch your timing too, because the 1.5s, they can take anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. And then if you make the smaller one, like an inch ball, they might come up, you know, faster than that. So start watching these cookies, because, you know, our oven's all set up so differently, and you'll want to set it at 375. Now, what you want to do is about 1.5 inch ball, roll it in your hands. Now, if it's easier for you, you can use a scoop, okay? And I measured this scoop, and it's about a tablespoon in case you don't want to, you don't have a scoop, you don't want to use a scoop. Okay, and you can use it directly like that and just place it on your tray. Now, the only thing is when it bakes up, this one that comes out of the scoop will have lots of kind of layers and ridges. If you don't like that look, then you'll want to roll them smoothly, okay? Yet they will have surface cracks on them, which will not affect the cookie whatsoever. If you think it's faster for you just to use your scoop, okay, like that, and then roll it in your hand, if that's faster for you too. Whatever you want to do, or use, you know, your tablespoon, and then roll it in your hand and measure it, okay? But that's about 1.5. And then I want to show you this one because this is the little bit smaller one. This is just about 1 inch. Little over 1 inch, okay? So, and I have made this recipe with the 1.5 inch ball and the one, but like I said, watch your timing because it can vary a lot on the size of the cookie, okay? So you get the idea. Like I said, if you want to use that 1.5 inch ball, use your scoop. If you don't mind ridges, or roll them up, or just take them out, about a tablespoon, and then roll a nice ball in them. Now give them about 2 inches apart. Don't put them too close and that you want to overcrowd them. They are going to spread out a little bit. They're going to be actually a taller cookie rather than a width of a cookie, but I would say a couple inches would be great in the 375 oven. And again, that 8 to 10 minutes. If you're making the smaller balls, they're going to come up a lot faster, so please watch them. Okay, I want to wash my hands quickly because I've been handling raw cookie dough here. And I'd like to show you what they look like baked up without the glaze. Now, you can eat this cookie, you know, without glaze. I mean, you can drizzle chocolate over, melted chocolate. You can put powdered sugar, or just eat them plain. On the outside, again, you will have surface cracks. Unless you use the little scoop, you're going to have more of ridges all around. You're going to have a nice golden brown on the bottom, okay? And so they'll look like that. And what you'll want to do is mix, if you want a glaze, you want about, oh gosh, I would say give yourself at least 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. Maybe use 1/4 cup of milk. Maybe even that's a little too much. What I like to do is, to be honest with you, I fill a little measuring cup with milk, and then I put it in by the milk tablespoon by tablespoon. If you don't want to use milk, you don't have milk, you can use water to make your glaze, and make it as thick or thin as you want it to be, okay? You can, and I'll just show you, you can dip the entire cookie, or you can just, you know, as I'm doing, get to the sides a little bit and then take off the excess. If you dip the whole cookie, then I would suggest use a slotted spoon to pick it up and then drain it. And then, of course, put it on a rack. And I generally put something underneath it to you know, drain it. Okay, whoops. They're slippery. Okay. And, you know, generally you'll want to do this once they cool. And yet I know my grandmother used to glaze hers when they were still warm. So everybody does it just a little bit different, okay? And then just we're going to put just some chocolate jimmies over this. And again, as I said, put it on a rack I usually put wax paper or something underneath it to catch any drips till it hardens. If you want to quickly set them up, you can put your whole tray in the refrigerator or even in the freezer for a few minutes if you want it to set up quickly, okay? So we'll put that down. Now, what I would like to do though is that I would like to cut open this cookie for you so that you can kind of see what it looks like. Now, it will have a hard surface on the bottom as well as the top, but it is such a tender cookie. I don't know if you can see it, but it actually is just flaking and breaking up. Now, when I squeeze the cookie, I don't know if you're able to see that or not. I hope I have the right shot on that. It just flakes away. It's so light. This particular cookie just melts in your mouth. It is that tender. And then when I press down on it, you can see how it's breaking up, but yet how it's coming together. So it has a little bit of a chew to it. It's a medium dry cookie, but very tender. It's not real heavy or real dense where you think it's like a rock or a stone or something like that. It really isn't. Now, I want to show you what the rest look like that I went ahead, glazed them, and the little jimmies I put on are just green with little red berries on them. But again, you can put whatever that you want over them for whatever season, you know. At Easter I make these, and I put you know, blue and pink and green little jimmies for Easter. For Christmas I like to use these. So you can decorate it according to the season or the occasion that you want. But this is how they will look like. Let me show you once that they're glazed. Okay, I hope that wasn't too high of a shot there. But that you can see them once they're baked up. They make for a great little tasting cookie because they are so tender, and they are semi-dry cookie, and the icing, I think, just adds the right amount of sweetness to the cookie. So there you have it. You've got an Italian, well, sugar cookie, but I like to call them Italian sprinkle cookies. I hope you try this recipe. If you do, well, leave a comment because I really like to hear from you. I also want to remind you to watch me solely on YouTube, because when folks take my work, put them on other sites, post them, pin them, do whatever, when you write to me with your questions or your comments, I don't get them. And it's really frustrating for me. So please watch me solely on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. Or give the video a like or ring the bell. I couldn't thank you enough if you did that. And I can't thank you enough just if you're watching. So thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And I'll see you soon.